Namaste everyone, hope all of you are well. In the previous lecture 5, I had described to you about the enthalpy change in the reaction, how to enthalpy change, and while the phase formations from solid to liquid or liquid to gaseous. What was the amount of enthalpy change that I have already described to you in the lecture number 5. This is our thermodynamics lecture number 6. In this lecture we are going to discuss about the standard enthalpy of formation. See, these all are the parts of enthalpy only. Whatever we are discussing, these all are the parts of enthalpy. As already I have discussed in the lecture number 3, what is enthalpy, how to enthalpy works, what are the values of delta H, and how do it changes. So here there is not so much new thing, it's just a process of an enthalpy called standard enthalpy of formation. In the previous video, as you have read about the reaction enthalpy change formations, and after then you have discussed about the phase formations enthalpy, right? So in this video we are going to specially discuss about standard enthalpy of formation. As you can see, it is written on the board that what is standard enthalpy of formation. Can you tell me what is standard enthalpy of formation? As I have discussed to you also in the previous video also, it is the standard enthalpy change for the formation of 1 mole of compound. 1 mole of compound. Remember, dear student, yesterday in the reaction I have given you about the 2 moles, also 3 moles, but here whatever I am telling you, try to focus what I mean to say. The standard enthalpy change for the formation of 1 mole of compound, 1 mole of compound from its element in their most stable states of aggregation. In their most stable state of aggregation means in which states are stable, which are existable, and it is also known as the reference states. This aggregation state, that most stable state, is also known as reference state, which is also called the standard molar enthalpy of formation. What is called standard molar enthalpy of formation, which we have discussed yesterday also. Delta HR here we have written, but here the standard molar enthalpy of formation delta HF. So here it is denoted by the symbol, that is standard molar enthalpy of formation. Remember, dear student, this is denoted by this. So now you can ask me, sir, what is the standard molar enthalpy of formation in general words? If I want to say, see, just in general words, yesterday we have discussed about the reaction. So many reactions when the two reactants react with each other and give a formation of product, right? So while giving the formation of product, have you ever thought that what happens during these reactions, how this in the reactant side, in the product side, there is a change of enthalpy. Yesterday we have discussed also, in the previous video we have discussed. So in this video we are not going to just discuss about the change of enthalpy in the reactants and the change of enthalpy in the product. Here we are going to discuss about the formation of product, how this product is formed. While doing the formation of product, what are the standard molar enthalpy of formation? 1 mole standard molar enthalpy of formation. Got it? So here, as you can see here, I have given some of the reactions also, and if you want to know about this delta H and F, then I would like to tell you here, F indicates the 1 mole of the compound. You can ask me, sir, what is this delta H? You know delta H, that is molar enthalpy, you know, change in enthalpy, delta H, whatever the changes is. But here this F indicates that how many mole? It indicates 1 mole of the compound. As in the question you can see so many, there are reactions in the compounds in the question has been formed in its state also. In the elements, there are standard states from its element, most stable states of aggregation, and the reference state of element in the most stable aggregation, that is 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure. 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure. Here remember, you can ask me, sir, what will be this standard? 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure. This is your temperature, This is T and this is P. Now you can ask me, sir, yesterday as you have taught, sorry, in the previous video you have taught about that the change in enthalpy during this reaction and reactants product. Actually, so what happens during these things? Can you tell us more and more about this? Don't worry, dear students, I am going to tell you this all the things in the detail. That standard molar enthalpy of formation. Here as the hydrogen. Now just suppose, when would be the first drop of water would be formed? You know, when there was nothing in the universe. Earth was also just a piece of star. When this whole solar system was formed, all the planets were a piece of stars. The biggest star was that sun piece, means you can say that biggest piece was the sun, and rest of the pieces of this star on the same star, they have became the planets, and when they came into the force, gravitational force, their whole solar system was formed. And when, if I talk about this Earth planet, in the Earth planet, when was the first drop of water came? What would have happened? Have I ever thought that, see, right now everything is normal, whatever the condition you require, you need oxygen, oxygen is free available, you need sunlight, it is free available. But when you go to the hospital, when something doesn't work, some tissue, some organs, or some of the cells stop working, and for that if you require oxygen, then you understand what is this enthalpy change, how this oxygen gas is formed, how we are inhaling the oxygen. Are you getting or not? What I mean to say, whatever the things, comfortable things, means like whatever the necessary things to live a life in the earth is oxygen, sunlight, water, food, clothes. Right now, whatever the facilities, physical properties, like we need a house, we need a roof where we can stay, we need knowledge that we can enhance our capacities and whatsoever. But I just want to tell you, see, everything is normal, everything is free available, but when something stops working, that time we realize, what we do realize, we realize that how these things work really. If you just think about that inhalation, we are taking the oxygen inside and removing the carbon dioxide oxygen. Inhalation, exhalation process as we are doing. We don't know during this reaction what was the change of enthalpy. Are you getting or not? During this reaction of inhalation and exhalation, what was the change of enthalpy? How this lungs take this oxygen mixed with the blood become oxyhemoglobins, and hemoglobin where there is a lack of oxygen, deoxyhemoglobins. When you read these all the reactions, then you can understand that how much change of enthalpy is required. Right? So here I am just giving you an example of formation of water. That if I talk about hydrogen and oxygen gas, when both the gases mix at this temperature, standard temperature 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure, then what will be the standard molar enthalpy of formation change? How much standard molar enthalpy change is required to form 1 mole of water? You can just right now water is available. So what do? You do electrolysis. With the help of electrolysis, you can dissociate this water into H plus and OH minus ion. But if I talk about with the help of the two gaseous atoms, as here you can see, hydrogen is a gas and oxygen is also a gas. I have taken a half molecule of oxygen and 1 molecule of hydrogen gas, and I have just at a certain temperature 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure, I have combined these two gases and given a formation of